Welcome to my Google Slides presentation on the importance of tutorials in video games. Today we'll be using Dead by Daylight as an example of a game with a bad tutorial. Dead by Daylight's tutorial has 4 parts. There's the basics of each role and a bot match with each role. And that's it. This is a huge issue since the tutorials do not actually prepare you for the game when you go into a public map. Let's start with the simple stuff, that being perks. The tutorials never tell you anything about these crucial gameplay mechanics. Some perks are simple and easy to understand from their descriptions. Agitation is a good example of this. You move faster and have a slightly larger terror radius while carrying a survivor. Simple and easy to use. It also helps that this perk comes from a killer that, well, you get for free, the Trapper. And on the other hand, we get perks like Hex Pentimento, which have very long descriptions with mechanics not mentioned in the tutorial. This is a very good perk, but how are new players supposed to understand what it does? Totems are not mentioned anywhere in the tutorial, so how are new players supposed to know what they are? Another issue with the tutorial is that there are way too many killers. Now obviously, the game has changed over the years. The game went from having 3 to I kind of lost track of how many there are, but you get what I'm trying to say. In the tutorial, the only killer you face and play as is the Trapper, which is certainly easy to understand, but it doesn't prepare you for the other killers that you face. Pictured here is a bunch of killers that are hard to understand at a first glance, both playing as and against. This certainly isn't all of them, since I couldn't fit all of them onto one slide, but I think they're all good examples. Killers like Plague, Artist, Singularity, and even the first, aka Vecna from Stranger Things, are very complex and hard for new players to understand. Their powers are too complicated as well and require a lot of depth to understand how to use or face off against them. What happens if I solve the Lament configuration against Pinhead? What do the magic items do against the Lich? How do I remove the T-Virus infection against Nemesis? These are just examples of what new players may be confused on what to do when facing certain killers. There are also mechanics that straight up are never told if they are in the game at all. Looping is a very, very important mechanic in Dead by Daylight, and the tutorial doesn't teach you how to do it. At all. It's stupid. And that's not all. For a while, the game didn't tell you what the luck status condition does, meaning it gets misinterpreted. New players will look at it and think it involves the item spawns from chests. No! It affects the chance of a self-unhook attempt succeeding. And it's not even mentioned in perks that guarantee a self-unhook, like Wicked or Deliverance. This did eventually get changed, but the status effect itself is still pretty bad. The deafen status condition is also not explained fully, probably because it's not really on much. But what it actually does is that it muffles the sounds that you hear, but the game never tells you that. It doesn't even show it on the status HUD. Some other stuff I've seen suggested for a better tutorial, which credit to Mintskull for this, he's made an absolutely amazing statement on this, a preview for how perks and killer powers work. That way people will better understand how they operate and how to counter or use them. And over the years, Dead by Daylight has become a truly complex game. You have to memorize all the killers, perks for both sides, maps, and a bunch of other gameplay mechanics. Covering all of this in a tutorial is almost impossible, but there's gotta be something that needs to be done. And I think the example that me, and technically also Mintskull, mentioned is a good way to implement this. Thank you for watching this video. If you plan to make your own game, feel free to use this video as an example of what not to do. Okay, bye.